British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Welcome back to BCIT News. I'm Riley Cunningham, and here are your 11:30 headlines. The city of Dawson Creek has declared a local state of emergency due to a severe and prolonged drought. The city's water supply can no longer meet the needs of the community without taking emergency action, says Mayor Darcy Dober. The Kiskatna River, the city's only water source since 1942, is at record low levels after years of drought, and the city is at risk of relying on its stored reservoirs, which will only provide about 150 days of water. The state of emergency will allow the city to access resources and support from the province, and they're acting now to hopefully prevent completely running out of water. Flights are delayed at Kelowna International Airport after the terminal information screens and public address system were hacked. Pro-Hamas messages were displayed on the screens, stating, quote, "Israel lost the war, Hamas won." There were also social media messages showing pro-Hamas sentiment and messages calling U.S. President Donald Trump a pig. The incident happened on Tuesday night, and staff were able to successfully remove the messages by 10 p.m. 3 flights remained delayed this morning without information as to whether they were related to the hack. Speaking of hacking, October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and our reporter Kai Garcia spoke to a digital forensics and cybersecurity professor to find out more about cyber awareness and young people. We have Kai live in the studio today to tell us more about her story. Kai, thanks so much for joining us. So can you tell us what demographic is most vulnerable to cyber threats?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Well, in this digital age, it's the youth. According to the Global Security Forum, around 72% of children experience cyber threats because at such a young age, they don't have the knowledge on the risk or consequences that the internet may hold.
Wow, 72%. That's quite a lot. Can you tell us more about what cybersecurity risks come with the emergence of AI?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, I talked to Dr. Ali Abadi about, this, and she said it's new world technology. It's so young that it's used by attackers these days to generate and enhance, cyber intelligent attacks. It's not new to be cyber attacked. However, it's evolving, and there's no set solutions on this. However, Dr. Ali Abadi said that we should be aware about the risk and, avoid being victimized this way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Kai. Looking forward to hearing more about your story later. Moving on to Ontario, Stellantis, the automaker behind brands like Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler, announced it would be closing a plant in Brampton in order to move production to the U.S. The plant has been temporarily closed for a new production line since January 2024 and employed about 3,000 employees. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he'll continue to push back on the auto manufacturer. Michelle Zadikin reports for the Canadian Press.
Union head Lana Payne said Canadian auto jobs are being sacrificed at the Trump altar and said saving the Brampton plant is a top priority to send a strong message to other corporations who are also thinking of shifting investments south of the border.
Ford says the company will keep the plant open for at least another year, but the uncertainty is due to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs and protectionist policies. The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors have voted to declare a state of emergency due to ICE immigration raids. Alex Stone reports for ABC.
LA County's Board of Supervisors voting to declare a state of emergency over the ICE raids that have been carried out here. Supervisor Lindsay Horvath among all but one supervisor voting in support of declaring an emergency.
Workers have been kidnapped from job sites, and children have been coming home to empty dinner tables.
Declaring a state of emergency will allow for rent relief for those who have fallen behind on rent due to ICE raids and could allow for other local and state aid. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
County officials say the sweeping ICE raids have produced a climate of fear, and last month the Supreme Court overturned an order prohibiting the federal government from making indiscriminate immigration arrests. Finally, with weather, we're sticking with sunshine today with a high of 13 and a low of 4 overnight with a chance of frost. I'm Riley Cunningham, and you are listening to BCIT News.
This is 1680 The Crow, and you're listening to our feature presentation.
Burgers and belonging. How Langley's Burger Fest brings cultures to the same table. We're your hosts, Braden Goodman
and Aiden Singh.
This is Langley Burger Fest.
I'm Taylor. I'm a sous chef for Trading Post Brewing.
I'm Haran Pereira. I'm the executive chef here at the Barley Merchant.
My name is Donovan. Donovan Dick, chef and co-owner of Omni Lang.
I really think that this is a good way for other smaller businesses to, because when you're competing, you want to put your best foot forward, obviously, and I think it's a great way to grow a market for the smaller businesses.
Bringing the community together is always good. When it comes to getting together, eating is the easiest way to get everybody.
To get all the independently operated restaurants to collaborate to bring people out to Langley and just showcase all the awesome independent owners out there, right?
Like, everybody wants to go around to all the other small businesses and try what they've created. And in a way, it just really helps grow the small business aspect.
Everybody kind of on the same page and collaboratively work together. So, because with the Burger Month, the goal is to try to get everybody out to each of those locations, right? We live in, a part of BC that is honestly overwhelmed with chains. Like, they dominate the market, right? They have better buying power. Like, they're able to do things on a different scale than we are. And we really need to highlight all the cool independent restaurants out there and tell their story.
So the growth of Langley, Fort Langley in general, it's been awesome. It's been great, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it is very exciting to see, and I think it's just getting better.
By the end of this podcast, we'll go in between the buns and show you the big bite of what's happening out in Langley. Once thought as just another stop along the number 1 highway, how it's turning itself into a culinary destination where culture and food collide. So Aiden and I had the pleasure of sampling some of Langley's finest culinary burger experiences. But throughout this, we found the same kind of theme of how culture and food really bring people together. So Aiden, what did you learn about this whole experience?
Well, in terms of culture and food bringing people together, I learned that, obviously, I remember when I was younger and I was in the kitchen watching my parents cook, sure, but there's a different sort of passion in these kitchens where they're blending together different aspects of culture with maybe things that they're not so familiar with. I've learned that Langley's scene is actually exploding and that this city that used to just be a stop along the way, something you'd pass through and think nothing more, is building something, is becoming something real, something very beautiful in front of me.
Food is one of those earliest memories. It's something that we can all relate to. And Langley is such a uniquely located area where it's farm to table. It's got some of the best suppliers of local cuisine right there in its own backyard.
Braden, I think over the last week we've seen and we've done a lot. We've heard a lot of voices, but you're from this area. This means something real to you. This is in your backyard.
Born and bred.
So I want to ask you, what does this mean to Langley?
It's putting us on the map. When I grew up, it was a lot of chain restaurants, White Spot, The K, Old Spaghetti Factory. That was kind of where we got together as a family. We'd go out, birthday dinners, celebrate time with family. Aiden, culture and food, they almost go hand in hand. Because at the end of the day, food, it's such a human experience. It's one of our earliest memories. That's a theme that we kept coming back to in our journey of how food really brings people together.
If you think of probably any happy time in your life, you were probably around a table with a bunch of food, right? So food brings people together. It's the most honest and true form of, you don't even have to think about it. You put food in front of people, or put food on a table, and people are going to sit down together, regardless if they know each other or not, right? So it's down to our basics of human nature. Of that's how you bring people together, it's through food. And you can tell a story, whether it be, you know, your own cooking, your grandma's cooking, you know, something that you had while you were on a trip, whatever. You're always going to tell a story through the food that you're sitting down with, right? And then you're probably going to remember that down the road.
Food is something that brings people together. And Donovan Dick, head chef at Omni, said it best: breaking bread.
To break bread with people, you know what I mean? That's as old as time. Is the, you know, if you ever think of any type of any story or anything where you have, whether it's a friend or you're meeting somebody new, offering them something to eat or eating with them, breaking bread with them, that's not only signifying like a handshake or a hug, it's also let's all settle down here. Let's just enjoy ourselves. Let's have something. Are we hungry? Right? It is that way that you can reach out and just say, hey, you know, before we get into anything else, let's make sure we're fed.
What does that mean to you, Aiden?
It means a lot because my family, we care a lot about our social gatherings. We're not able to get out nearly as much as we should, but when we do, there's something going on. There's something happening. And I've always felt right at home there, of course, but when we're having our extended families, you know, come over, and someone brings over a new fiance, a girlfriend, we're introducing someone into the family. They don't speak the language, mind you, and they don't look like we do. And I guarantee you they're not used to the flavor. But they're still eating it, and there's still a smile on their face. We're still laughing and joking. And so it can show you how food can normalize these differences, how everyone looks the same when they're eating, right?
I mean, hey, we can all agree, food really is the universal language. One thing that really stood out to me was the Barley Merchant, of how they utilized their staff's, you know, ethnic background. They've got a lot of Korean influence in that kitchen. And how Haran Pereira, how he was able to kind of tap into that and create that kimchi burger that we were very, very humble to get a sample of.
So impressed by it. That was beautiful.
How incredible was it to infuse that bun with kimchi?
Yeah, pulling inspiration like that from your staff is just magical.
And the elevation of the in-house black garlic really brought that mayo to the next level.
We've done a lot of Korean dishes in the past because I've got some great Korean staff that knows how to pay true homage to their culture, and we try to get them involved in those flavors. So I try to get them to make different things, and I was like, that sauce that you did last time, that was amazing. Why don't we try this on? So we make a kimchi bun, so we actually make our own brioche buns with kimchi in it, so you have like a slightly spicy bun. And then we do sweet pickled daikon on the bottom. We have black garlic mayo, so we make our own black garlic in-house, so that's kind of like very umami, kind of like next level up on a garlic mayo. We do pork belly on our flat top and glaze it with a gochujang sauce, so that's kind of like the sweet, smoky, and then we do some salted cucumber on top with more of the gochujang sauce, so it's like super vibrant in flavor, a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of smoky. It's like Korean barbecue in a burger. The amazing thing about Canada as a culture is we're a melting pot of lots of different cultures, right? So embrace all the cultures that we have here and tell their story. It's the standard, you know, bacon cheeseburger, which is great. Like, no one's gonna go anything wrong with the bacon cheeseburger, but let's do a spin on that, right? So the story that we're saying is you can do something familiar while utilizing the flavors and vibrancy of different cultures, and we're leaning in on the Korean because we've got some amazing Korean staff here.
Food to me is more than flavor. It's connection. It's how we say welcome, how we share a piece of who we are. Every meal tells a story of family, of struggle, of love passed down through recipes. When we sit together and break bread, it reminds us that no matter where we come from, we all speak the same language, the language of good food and good company. Every town's got its food festival. Tacos, beer, barbecue. But out here in Langley, it's burgers. Simple, greasy, familiar. But Burger Month isn't really about what's on the bun. It's about who's around the table. Because a burger's the great equalizer. You can be a farmer or a filmmaker, a newcomer or a fourth-generation local. And when you're holding a burger, you're the same kind of hungry. Langley's Burger Month turns that hunger into connection. Every patty tells a story of fusion, heritage, of risks taken. Korean barbecue meets BC beef. Punjabi spice meets that Langley simplicity. It's not just food, it's a language of belonging. This month, burgers become symbols of creativity, of community, of cultures that don't just live side by side. They blend, sizzle together, and feed something deeper. So yeah, it's Burger Month, but maybe it's also a reminder that food isn't just what we eat. It's how we share where we come from and taste where we're going. In Langley, a burger isn't just a meal, it's a meeting point and a catalyst that brings a town together. There's something special about the way culture finds its way into food. You don't always notice it at first, but it's there, in the spice, the sauce, the soul of the dish. At the Barley Merchant, they've done something beautiful. They've taken the classic North American burger and given it a Korean heartbeat. It's smoky, sweet, and a little spicy. But what makes it special isn't just how it tastes, it's why it exists. Food like this tells a story of people who come here. They bring their recipes, their memories, their tradition, their culture, and they blend them with what they found in a new place. That's culture in motion. That's what makes a burger more than just meat and bread. This Korean-inspired burger isn't just fusion, it's conversation. It's the old world meeting the new, the familiar mixing with the unexpected. Every bite carries a little bit of Langley, a bit of soul, and a whole lot of creativity. Food reminds us that culture doesn't stay still. It travels, it evolves. And when it lands in the right hands, it becomes something worth celebrating. Because when you taste something new, you're not just trying a recipe. You're tasting a story and the people who brought it to life. Well, there it is, folks. At the end of the day, Langley is so much more than just another stop on the #1 road.
It is that mix of destination town, but also these kind of older families who have been here forever, but it's not commercialized at all, and I just feel great about where it is versus where it was. And not that it was bad by any stretch of the imagination, it's just, as somebody who likes to eat, somebody who likes to go out to different places, now people will come out and see me, and they'll be like, oh yeah, come out to see your restaurant. And they're like, I didn't realize there was all this other stuff out here.
It's a budding culinary and cultural hub that's ready to throw its weight around and be around for years to come.
As much as we just want to win the competition, we want to showcase everybody else as well, because that means more people coming out to this area, right? And we don't want to just hit the people that already live in Langley. We want to get the people that don't live in Langley to come out here and try it, all those different places.
Our staffing reflects that as well. We have a multicultural and diverse staff that we're really proud of, and again, we're not trying to be fit in one mold, one corner. We are trying to, like Langley, we are expanding. There are there is that multicultural group, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
That'll do it for Burgers and Belonging, a story of how Langley's Burger Fest brings cultures to the same table. We're your hosts, Braden Goodman.
And I'm Aiden Singh.
Thank you for listening.
If you'd like to read more, please link back to our article on bcitnews.com.
The Oxford Dictionary defines a hamburger as a round patty of ground beef, fried or grilled, and typically served on a bun or roll and garnished with various condiments. But Langley's making it something so much more. Stay hungry, listeners.